07 Commanders, welcome on in. It is Independence Day. Indra is under attack, completely vulnerable, and we are going to talk about that and the changes that have been occurring with the Thargoid behavior and what we think about that going forward. Let's get into it, Commanders. All right, as stated, we've got lots of things going on. Right now, we are at the front lines at Indra, and we are trying to pull up something so we can read it. And we are going to talk about Week 84 from the Anti-Xeno Initiative, as we do every week here on the Galactic War Overwatch program. They are, in fact, attacking Indra in earnest right now. They're going at it. If you want to get in on that, not a problem. You can get in pretty quickly. You're going to need to make sure that you have a Thargoid pulse neutralizer. You're going to need to make sure you got some anti-Xeno AX multi-cannons or something. And if you don't have any of this stuff, go to, I believe it's in Talon. One of the, I think it's Forster is out there. You can go to that station in Talon, Telin, and pick up all the parts you're going to need. Other than that, you don't really need a whole lot. Just need to get in there, and you also might, if you need to do any bombing, you're going to need the nanite torpedo launcher, which is pretty common if you do a solo or whatever. But if I were you, I would just grab whatever I can and just go into open and attack the core as much as possible. Now, I have already done a video earlier today about the Thargoid War, the attacks, and I've went in and showed how to do a lot of that. So if you're interested in that, check out my live section on the Elite Dangerous Odyssey playlist, and you can check it out. So now they give some options for parking. If you have a carrier, you can park near HIP 2112, and there's a port there as well, and it has a large station, so that's all good stuff. The further on we go, they will have more to talk about. But until these announcements came out today, they were talking about going to Thor, but it's possible that they may be going to a different location, and we'll talk a little bit about that. There's some changes coming up. The main changes were these. These were released this morning, and we'll talk about these. So Titan Indra, if you want to get in on this, it's over at HIP 20567. Status is completely vulnerable. Okay, it's down. Like, there is nothing saving this one. This one's going bye-bye. It says, and it even says in here, grab a Thargoid pulse neutralizer, caustic sink launcher, and a Guardian nanite torpedo pylon from any rescue megaship on the and take on the Titan in HIP 20567. Yeah, so the one in Talon, I believe, is pretty close to where we're fighting, so feel free to go to that one or any other one for that matter. Your rewards on this round, this Titan, are you can earn up to 3,200 arcs by helping take down Titan Indra. In addition, if you have been involved taking down previous Titans, you will unlock the following ship kit and decal. So you'd had to get 4 of them to get this one, right? So if you don't have it now, you're probably not going to get them. So here we go. We got the ship kit listed, which is correct that it is, in fact, a for the cutter, as I was talking about earlier today. However, it's not rusted. Doesn't say what the name of it is, but then they get into the balance changes, and that's the things we want to talk about for just a little bit here. Following your feedback, we have implemented the following changes with the Thursday maintenance and the Thargoid War strategy. Their alert invasion Titans will now directly invade populated systems, skipping the traditional probing state. That alone is a really, really good change. I'm really glad to see that because the alerts, they just clear the alerts and then we never get invasions. And invasions are one of the most fun game loops there is. I am so glad for that part. Just that alone. I love invasions. So, and I built a lot of invasion warships, so I'm very, very excited about this going forward. Sorry, I'll quit fanboying for just a second. Unpopulated systems will no longer enter an alert state. Okay. Several populated systems will still enter an alert state. Now, I'm not sure what that is specifically. I know there's been a little bit of scuttlebutt about that, but it is what it is. Counter-Strike port AXCZs. Following your feedback, we're enabling an option for port anti-Xeno combat zones to play an offensive role against the Thargoids. Oh, they have they have ports in some of the, this is good. This is another good one. Hold on, I'm fanboying again. Okay, I was complaining about this all last week and the week before. Yeah, they're gonna put ports in some of the anti-Xeno combat zones, which will make it so much better for us solo guys, so we have something to do. Wow, and that's funny because I don't even talk to anybody at Frontier, so either somebody's listening to me or somebody else, or maybe a lot of somebody else's think the same way I do, because I've been going on and on about this. So, this port will have repair and rearm available, but will not offer missions. Okay, well, that's fine. I wish it did, but that's okay. It's good enough, close enough, because we can do that. The missions we can get from the invasions, which is perfectly fine. Planetary ports will be favored. If no suitable planetary ports are available, a space-based port will reactivate instead. Oh, that's so cool. They didn't put a period. That's why I thought it was a longer sentence. These systems can be identified on the galaxy map as stacked Counter-Strike and port under attack icons below. So, I don't know what the hell that means. So it's one of these. So you got to look for these. I'm not sure. Let me see. Let me read that again. These systems can be identified on the galaxy map as stacked Counter-Strike and port under attack icons. So I'm assuming this is a port under attack. Okay. So that's ground under attack. So it'll have the purple, but if it's a spaceport, I guess it's this kind of thing. And if it's a ground port, it's these kind of things. I get something like that. Anyway, we'll figure it out later. Just wanted to point that out. As the war continues to escalate, make sure you're ready to join the fray with either the Python Mark II Stellar and the Alliance Chieftain AX Combat Jumpstart. Now, the Python Mark II Stellar is great, except that you have to basically strip it to make it to get to AX status, because you don't need the shields. Now, you could use the shields on, say, a Spire site or something like that, and maybe even an invasion, but invasions, even with ground support or with port support, you do not need shields because you can just go repair all you want. So that's the first thing we got. Then we got this second thing here, which is from the news, Galnet. Aegis has continued to monitor the recently shifting Thargoid behavior and have confirmed a clear pattern. This is basically the RP version of what we just read on the other one. Expansion efforts have slowed in recent weeks, with experts theorizing that this change in Thargoids was a precursor to a change in overall strategy. Aegis researchers have now gathered enough evidence to confirm a tactical shift. The Thargoids have adopted a more defensive stance, which is interesting. I think that's going to be interesting later on, reinforcing their current position rather than expanding outward. They are also targeting and invading populated systems exclusively, sometimes without normal scouting operations. So that's interesting as how that might work going forward. Dr. Zhonghui Xing of the Holloway Bioscience Institute offered the following view. That lack of scouting is the most fascinating element of this change to me. A military man may claim to be a desperate enemy lashing out at its opponent, but I see something deeper. Well, of course you do. Foregoing expansion to prioritize the defense of the remaining Titans is intelligent, not desperate. These attacks seem to be just as calculated. They're gathering data, probing our defenses, analyzing where their remaining resources may be used. As a tactical response, various organizations will be sending out strike teams to designated counter-strike systems around the Titan with the last system under Thargoid control. With the least systems under Thargoid control. Where possible, these teams plan to reactivate a single port within each system to provide a forward operating base for anti-Xeno operations. Pilots are being encouraged to take up arms and participate in the defense of these forward ports. That's going to be interesting. It kind of reminds me of it might be something that relates to power play down the road. These forward ports, I almost feel like they're going to be kind of the same as the ports we're going to get in Power Play 2.0, and we'll get more deeper into that as we get closer. But right now, what it sounds like is that they're going to keep some of the remaining Titans in play, because if they built all this stuff and all this tech and they're just going to throw it all out, that sucks. I mean, a lot of people, including myself, have spent several hours and multiple hundreds of hours trying to build these ships and get everything ready and do these invasions and do these Titan strikes and all this stuff. So I think that it's going to be amazing if they keep some of that around, so we can still play the game loops, the good game loops. They talked about two of them. They talked about the invasions being around, which are great game loops, especially the ground invasions, but the space invasions with ports that you can repair on are great too. CZs with ports in them, that's a beautiful thing. I mean, this is all really good, the really best of the best game loops. They seem to be wanting to keep going forward, and I love that. So I am really excited for that, and I believe that I have said everything I need to say. Guys, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. My name's Commander Fearion, and I will talk to you guys next time.